We can start UT Martin head coach Jason Simpson. His team got his share of our conference championship. That was their fourth in a row, and then they're in the playoffs now again for the first time since 2021. Their third overall playoff appearance, first time as an at-large. They're going to be at New Hampshire on Saturday. So, Coach, we'll just start off some general thoughts about your team and where it is, and then we'll go to questions.
Great, thanks. No, first of all, we're very appreciative of this opportunity. We're appreciative of the committee. To think that says a lot about getting a large bid. They didn't have to take you because they didn't take us last year, and we had 8 wins. But obviously, our strength of schedule helped us. Very proud that our conference can get 3 teams in the tournament, and so that's kind of a motto around here, right? You want to be practicing on Thanksgiving, and we get the opportunity to do that this week.
Thanks, Coach. And I will reference the first time that OVC has had 3 teams since 2013 there. If you know you got a question for Coach, let me know down in the chat, and I'll call on you. Roger Brown, you're up first. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. How's everybody today?
Good, Roger.
Coach, don't forget your sunscreen Saturday, okay?
Hey, we're excited about that, man. We're
Might get to 40. Might get to 40 here. For those of us who haven't seen your team play, can you give us a brief description of what we're going to be looking at Saturday in terms of team strengths and how you got this far so far this season?
Yeah, great. I would say, there's times that we do some things that are about as good as any team that I've had here in 19 years. And what I mean by that is there's some times on defense that we look, that defensive line we have is very, and they've been pretty consistent all year. Okay, that's a good group. And there's time those linebackers are dominant, especially in the run game. There's times that, well, you can look at our turnover margin and, the amount of turnovers we've got is interception wise the last 5 weeks and stuff. But there's times that we've done some things, some undisciplined things, in our coverage, and that's not just the back end; it's at the linebackers position, and giving up some passing yards that were not necessary. They were things that should be handled. All right. But our defense has been pretty consistent most of the year. On offense, there's some times that we've been able to run the ball, consistently when we wanted to. There's been some times that we've been able to hit some big plays in the pass game. So when we get consistent quarterback play, with good protection and stuff, like I said, we look like a very worthy team. So, there's some consistency things that we need to continue to find in order to compete against good teams.
And just a quick follow-up, if I could, in your preparation for New Hampshire, anything stood out, or what are your observations there?
Well, I've spent most of my time, being the offensive, coordinator as well as the head coach, and so obviously most of my time has been spent on that. But very good scheme. They're on defense, very solid, very sound. They always got more numbers than you. They tackle well, play with great effort, great pad level. Look at the yards they're giving, around a little less than 300 a game or whatever it is. I mean, it's just, you go to the big play run tape. I think over the last 4 games, there's only like 8 of them or something like that. Same way with the big play pass. They just don't beat themselves. They don't give up a bunch of big plays. They play the game the right way. And then, talking to our defensive staff, very good complementary football, and they get short fields and they take advantage of it, getting touchdowns and things. So, I don't think there's one thing, that you would say is a weakness. I don't think they really have a whole lot of weaknesses. Okay. But they're such a good complementary football team. They do many things well.
Super. Thank you.
Go next to Dan Verdon from Prairie State Pigskin, and then we'll go to Justin after that. Dan, you're up.
Good to see you again, Coach.
Hey, thanks.
You kind of alluded to this at the top, but you've been around the OVC for a long time. But with all the topsy-turviness, uneasiness in the college game today, what does it mean for 3 OVC teams to get back into the game?
No, you're 100% right. there's a sense of pride in that. Okay. There's a sense of pride in that. It's a credit to, it's a credit to those universities and those programs to get the upper half of our league, upper half of our league on a national scale. I saw it yesterday. We had to do all conference voting, and you go back to 2021 and we had a good team. I think we had 20 guys on the all conference team. Okay. Because just that particular team was probably just so much better, that year, and we won the league. So everybody I nominated, get on it. It was hard to get on the all conference team this year because of 4 quality teams, and so you had to really stand out, to make it on that list. So very proud of that. I think the OVC handled the as a whole, probably handled the portal good. We lost some good players. We lost 4 players to Power 5 schools. If we had those guys back, I think we'd be hard to handle, but they don't. So therefore other teams add players. And so it kind of brings us all there together. But, 4 teams were able to stay kind of above the line there. So, can you do that on a consistent basis, year in and year out?
Thanks, and best wishes for Saturday.
Hey, thank you.
And everybody's interested, we're releasing the all conference teams at 2 p.m. Central Time today. Justin McIsaac, you're up next. Go ahead, Justin.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for doing this. Justin McIsaac from UNH Radio. First of all, what do you like about Patrick Smith the most, the way he runs? What stands out to you about what he does?
He runs really well between the tackle. He's got really good contact balance. Okay. Last year the back we had was a 1,300-yard rusher. We've actually been, we've had 4 backs, 4 straight years, 4 different backs that were 1,000-yard rushers, and they all were different. The one last year was a lot faster. He plays at Oklahoma now. But Cheeks, as we call him, the kids call him, he's just very consistent, very reliable. The durability to be able to be physical and take the contact and get back in the huddle and want the ball again. He doesn't shy down from contact, but the balance he has and be able to make cuts, at the linebacker level, safeties coming down, in the box and stuff. That's where he's really been beneficial to us this year and really excelled.
From a defensive standpoint, UNH last week kind of rolled out a defensive back and running back for really the first time extendedly this year. Does that kind of throw a monkey wrench into your defensive preparations?
I don't even know if I knew that. So to get up going there, and like I said, it's a scramble, right? You get to Sunday and you're playing a team you know anything about, so you're trying to gather as much information with the stats and the tape and compare notes and get your travel plans ready and all that kind of stuff. And so it usually about a night it kind of slows itself down and you kind of gather all your information and get your ready to go. Right now, I've been concentrating on just trying to get a first down or 2.
And just to follow up, you guys have a great run defense, great running game. Is that the sort of thing that makes you worry a little bit less about the cold weather where those things travel well?
Well, it certainly helps. Gives you a chance. We were at Montana State in 21, and we beat the weather there. It was great. It was crisp day, but the snow came in, I think, about 12 hours after we left. But no, I think it's very difficult. This time of year, if you're an exclusive pass team, you have to be pretty, get some breaks with with the weather and stuff. But we try to be as balanced as we can and do what we have to do. That's one thing I would tell you that, being a head coach, I could care less where we rank in passing yards, running yards, where we are in that, right? We're just, trying to move the football, trying to score points. It's about scoring offense and not turning the ball over and giving your defense an opportunity to get stops.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Roger has a follow-up. If anybody else has a follow-up, let me know. We got a few more minutes to coach. Go ahead, Roger.
Okay, thank you. Coach, are you aware of anybody on your team or even your staff who has any ties at all to New Hampshire or the program? Number one. And I was wondering also, when you were doing your preparation for them, did you reach out to, are you friends with any coach maybe in their conference that might have helped you, or what was your plan there when you learned you were playing them?
Right. No, actually, to answer that, no, I really haven't. From a CAA standpoint, I have not. but me being from, I'm a Mississippi guy, been in Tennessee now, almost 25 years, in the state of Tennessee. So, we have several players, we kid with them above the Mason-Dixon line. Okay. We have a tight end from Buffalo. Last year we had a wide receiver from Boston area. And of course he graduated and he was a transfer from Shepherd. We've got a couple kids from Detroit, Michigan. So I've been ragging on them, just kidding with them a little bit about, hey, that's not too far from from your hometown, right? You're from your city. Well, tell me about it. And they're like, Coach, that's still 5 hours away from where I'm from. I'm like, well, you're above the Mason-Dixon line, man. You probably been close to there somewhere, right? And they're like, Coach, you need to look at a map. I'm not from there. So we rag on them all the time, when it's cold around here, right? The kids from Buffalo, Max, the tight end, I'll say, this is July 4th day in Buffalo. And, he never wears a sleeve because, he's used to the cold.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions for Coach? All right, Coach, thanks for your time this morning. And if you win, we'll talk to you again next week, and best of luck.
Kyle, I'm gonna try to get you in like a doctoral program here at UT Martin, so we can get, I don't feel like I'm fighting against you and Tuke all the time.
I get a doctorate. I can do it. Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, man.